Today I'm sharing with you my easy lasagna recipe. This has 2 types of meat, 3 types of cheese, and I'm gonna give you hints for not needing to boil the noodles at all. This recipe gets rave reviews on Pinterest, and I think you're gonna love it too. Let's get started. I have a large saucepan. Into it, I'll add 1 pound of ground beef and half of a pound of sweet Italian sausage that's ground up. And I'll just add it in and break that up. You can add a little bit more meat if you'd like. If your Italian sausage comes in a 1 pound bulk container, you can probably go ahead and just add in the whole package for a total of 2 pounds of meat. But just brown it, crumble it. I chose lean meat, so I shouldn't end up with too much fat after the meat cooks. If you have a lot of fat in the bottom of your pan after the meat has browned, go ahead and dump that out into a small bowl and set it aside, and you're ready to add the next ingredients. I have 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, and then the next thing is spaghetti sauce. So you're gonna add 48 ounces of your favorite spaghetti sauce. Add in 48 ounces, so that's about 1.5 of these containers. And then mix that in well. You're gonna let that simmer for about 5 minutes. Now, just as I recommend with just about any of our recipes, I highly suggest buying blocks of cheese and shredding it yourself. That way your casserole will not end up greasy. It's gonna taste amazing and be super creamy. So shred some cheese. You'll need 3 cups of mozzarella cheese shredded, but in this bowl I only have 2. So 2 goes in the filling part, and then the last cup of mozzarella gets sprinkled on top of the lasagna. You'll also need 3/4 of a cup of freshly shredded Parmesan cheese. Half of a cup is gonna go in this mixture, and then the rest will be for topping. Add in 15 ounces of ricotta. This is about double that amount, so I'll only add half. If you don't like ricotta cheese, you can use cottage cheese, or if you happen to have some in your fridge that needs used up, it works great as well. Then add in 2 large eggs, 2 teaspoons of dried parsley, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. Put those in opposite. Mix that up. As far as the noodles, for this recipe, you do not have to boil the noodles. You can buy no-boil noodles, oven-ready noodles, or you can just buy regular noodles. We've found that it works both ways. We've also had many people make it and say that, yes, in fact, their noodles were cooked after the lasagna was done baking. So if you have no-boil noodles, you can use those, but if you don't, it's totally fine. It also works with gluten-free noodles. So it's time to layer the lasagna. Start by taking about 3/4 of a cup of meat sauce and put it in the bottom of the pan. Should actually spray the pan. I'm gonna just spray it lightly on the sides. Should have done that first. So spread out that meat sauce. Take the noodles and lay about 3, it depends on how big your pan is, down in the pan. And then add 1/3 of the cheese mixture. Just dollop it on, and then you can spread it around a little bit. Don't worry if it doesn't look perfect in there, because it's all gonna bake together in the oven and taste delicious. After the cheese, add in about 1/4 of the remaining sauce. Put that right over the top. Then I'll spread that out a bit. Then we'll just do those layers again. So 2 more layers of noodles, cheese, and then sauce. Then the last layers are 3 more noodles. Had to open up a new package to get 1 more noodle. Then add the rest of the sauce on top. Then top with 1 more cup of shredded mozzarella. And then the last 1/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. Now at this point, if you think you have a thick homemade sauce or a thick store-bought sauce, take 1/4 cup of water and just drizzle it over the top. Once you find a sauce that is just the right perfect texture for this casserole, then you may find that you don't need to add the extra water. But if you're a little afraid that they're not going to cook, go ahead and add that over the top. It's important to cover this lasagna while it's baking. That's what traps the steam and allows those noodles to cook. So take a piece of aluminum foil, spray the top of the foil, and then flip it over and put that sprayed part down. And that just ensures that the cheese stays on the lasagna and doesn't stick to the foil, because you want that cheese to be in every bite. Bake in a 350 Fahrenheit oven for 50 minutes. Then take off the foil and bake for an additional 10 minutes, and that'll get it nice and golden brown on top. When the lasagna comes out of the oven, it's best if you let it sit about 10 minutes before you cut it. That'll just help the layers to settle together and cool a bit so that you can get nice slices. Of course, you can add anything else to this that you'd like. You can add a little bit of spinach, or you can add some mushrooms or pepperoni, whatever your family prefers. Thanks for watching today. Be sure to head over to tasteoflizzyt.com to print out this recipe. I hope your family loves this.